And here you, here you go.
Okay, gotta let off. I feel my feet. Oh shit.
Good morning, folks. So today we're up here at Site 3, my site, and we're going to do a little bit of a different video for you. So we get asked all the time, what happens when pigs die in one of your barns? Where do the dead pigs go? How does it work? What's the process look like? And today we're going to show you that. But there's a little bit of a catch thrown in there. That's where Leroy Jenkins comes into play. So this is our newest employee, Leroy Jenkins, here at This'll Do Farm. And everywhere that you see Leroy in this video, think of him as a deceased pig. He is a deceased pig in this video. And so we are going to show you the whole process of how we get rid of deceased pigs out of one of our hog barns. The whole process, the whole way through, using Leroy Jenkins here. No pigs were harmed in the process and recording of this video. This is for educational purposes only. We're not trying to humorize the fact that dead pigs die. We're just trying to show you guys in an educational way without showing you an actual deceased pig, because no one wants to see that. Don't think that we think it's funny that pigs die. We don't. We don't like it. We never liked it. We never will like it. We just want to show this for educational purposes.
So, one thing that we're going to do in this video, part of the process, you're going to see me playing the part as the dead pig. And the reason for that is because while Leroy is a very stout individual, he's got really weak ankles. And we're afraid that his ankles might not hold up being transported out of the pen. So me, taking one for the team, think of me as Leroy's stunt double.
So every day when we come into these barns, one of our first and main priorities is to check and make sure there's no dead pigs anywhere in any of the pens. It's really important to check because you can't leave a dead pig in a pen because it's not good for anybody. It's not good for the deceased pig, it's not good for the live pig. So it's really important, you gotta get them out every single day if there is any. Oh, speaking of which, there's one right there. Yep, there it is. Looks like he's dead as a hammer. Yep. He's a fresh one, so it's a good idea to get him out soon. So now that you guys see we got a dead pig in the pen, we gotta get him out. So how we're gonna do that is we got our handy dandy here. This is what we like to call a dead cart. And on this dead cart, it's got a cable and a winch. You put this part of the cable, it's got a little loop on the pig's leg, and then you click this, and you start cranking until he's secure in the cart. So you get it to your desired pin, lift the flipper up, open it, get behind the tuck again, wheel it in. Now it's time. Start cranking. Alright, so now it's time to crank them up. So it's cranking time. So you gotta let the cable loose, let it all the way down, and then you gotta wrap it around the pig's ankle here. Yep, just like that. Then you gotta tighten it up, and then you start cranking. Now, this pig's a little heavier than usual, so we'll see how it plays out. But I really hope we don't rip any legs off or anything like that, because that would not be ideal with this particular pig. But we'll see how it goes. Alright, so we got him all wheeled up here, cranked up. He's securely in the cart. Nothing's hanging out, so it's time to haul his ass out of here. So I typically just grab it and I pull it like this. I wheel him down. I just wheel him down. A big part of why I love this barn so much, we've talked about it before, but it's also nice when you're getting dead pigs out. It's it's an easy little transition here. We made this intersection a little wider for the dead cart and for loaded pigs. You just keep wheeling them down until you get to the loading chute door, because that's where we're gonna throw his ass out at. Luckily for me though, Leroy's a little light in the feathers. He's pretty light. He's a little fluffy, so I'm having a good time wheeling him around. Oh, well, we made it to the door. Leroy made it to the door. That's a good sign. So now the only thing to do is to launch his ass out the door. We'll talk about perfect timing. Here comes the dead wagon right now. The cavalry has arrived, so this will be pretty easy. Usually we launch a pig onto the concrete slab here, the pad, and then we scoop him up with the tractor or the skid loader. But since Dad's already here conveniently, we're just gonna put him right in the bucket. All right, so you gotta make sure it's tied up against that dock pad there, and then you gotta get the cable loose, because this has happened to me a few times. Sometimes you forget that the cable's still on there and you'll just launch a pig out, then your cable will just go with it. So you don't want that to happen. Take that cable off, and then you just let her eat. Sometimes it's a fat enough pig like Leroy here, you just gotta get him in there. So you just move him like this. He's in there good enough. He'll ride. That's all that matters. So there you go. Now he's in the dead wagon. We gotta haul him just a little bit further till we're done with it. So now we're gonna turn it over to Dad. He's gonna show you the last step in the process of getting rid of Leroy. Sayonara. Over here, these are what we like to call our dead tanks, and this is where all the dead stock goes when we get them out of the barns. And once a week we have a company that comes here to empty out these tanks, and they take them to a plant that renders all the fat and all the useful stuff out of a dead pig they use, and a lot of that goes into like makeup and into other products that aren't for food. So that's what's gonna happen here with Leroy. We're gonna take Leroy and we're gonna put him in the dead tank, because he's gotta get off our farm, and this is the only way that he's going to. So sayonara, Leroy.
Well, I'd like to say a few things about Leroy. A lot of you would say that Leroy was a dummy, and he was, but he was a good dummy. We're gonna miss him until the next time we need him. So long, Leroy. Rest in peace, buddy. So, what we've shown you today is the point up until the pigs go into one of these recycling bins, and there's a company, a rendering company, from Clinton, Iowa, and they've got plants, they got several plants around the Midwest. But what they do is they pick up dead stock, whether it be cattle or whether it be hogs, and there's a fair amount of pigs that are composted, and we don't do that here. We've debated about doing it, but that's one way that some people get rid of the pigs that they have that die, is they compost them, which is, you know, when they're all done, that basically turns into, it looks a lot like wood mulch, and it's fertilizer, and they can just spread it out on their fields. But a rendering company picks up all this dead stock, and it's made into all kinds of products. In fact, there's probably a lot of people that might have the idea that they don't touch anything that has anything to do with animal agriculture, and they would probably be wrong, because the products that come from rendering, I mean, the obvious ones are the leather, the hides, and the grease. They call it choice white grease that they render out of it, but bone meal and a lot of stuff I don't even know the list, that end up in everyday products, and you may use some of those products and not even know it. You might use some of those products and think that you don't have anything to do with animal agriculture, but you actually do. And I would almost argue that a pig that dies before it goes for the use of people as far as being meat, maybe just as useful to society as that actual animal that gets used for food is, because there's just a lot of products that come from the rendered animals also. So anyway, we don't, you know, nobody likes dead pigs. It's no fun, and it's hard. It's hard when you have pigs that are sick, and you struggle with having them die, but it's a necessary evil. It happens. And some groups, people ask, you know, like, how many pigs die in a group? Well, you don't have any idea, because you might have a group that has no challenges whatsoever, and they do very well, and you lose a handful of pigs out of them. And then you might get a group that they just get 1-2 punched. You know, they come from a sow farm that's challenged, that has disease pressure, and then they get pneumonia, or the weather changes and they get whatever, and then you're going to have a certain amount of them that for whatever reason they break a leg, or they get an abscess, or another pig picks on them and they get an infection. There's a multitude of ways that pigs end up in one of these recycling bins. But anyway, we hope that you got some good information out of it, and like you said, we just thought it'd be something that we've never seen anybody talk about, so we decided we wanted to talk about it. So
all in all, guys, I hope you gained some value, some insight into what happens when pigs die on a hog farm. We really just wanted to show you this for educational purposes only, but also, you know, we want to be real and 100% transparent with what we do. And so this is something that's kind of hush-hush in the industry, and we just found a creative way to kind of explain the whole process, and we just want to be real with you guys as much as we possibly can. So I hope that somebody gained some insight and you guys understand the process.
And we're setting up a memorial fund, so if you would like to donate to Leroy's family, link in the description to my checking account. I mean Leroy's
GoFundMe
page.